So, Phantom Thread is the latest solid film by Paul Thomas Anderson. He doesn't seem to make anything but. And it's the kind of movie that I'm most drawn to and like to try and make, as well as the ones that I like to see. It's very introspective and methodical and a little slow paced. And it's very dialogue heavy too, which I enjoy, at least from someone who is good at writing dialogue. And he really is. His dialogue in this is a lot different from, say, There Will Be Blood, which seems to just be designed to make you as the audience feel really uncomfortable. It's not just the scenes being very, very quiet and just saying, here, watch this.
You have abandoned your child.
I've abandoned my child.
I will never backslide.
I will never backslide.
I was lost, but now I am found.
I was lost, but now I'm found.
I have abandoned my child. Say it.
I abandoned my child.
Say it louder. Say it louder.
I've abandoned my child! I've abandoned my child! I've abandoned my boy!
Beg for the blood.
Just give me the blood, Eli. Let me get out of here. Give me the blood, Lord! And let me get away!
Do you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior?
Yes, I do.
Get out of here, devil! Out, devil! Out, sin! Do you accept the Church of the Third Revelation as your spiritual guide? Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of this! Get back with you!
It's the dialogue. The dialogue does, but he is very good at taking the dialogue and suiting it to the film. So there's no real mismatch between what is being said by the characters and what you're seeing. Occasionally that's a fine thing, especially in a black comedy. You know, you want that contrast. But usually you don't really want that mismatch. And he's very, very good at it. I didn't really have an uncomfortable moment watching this film, and a lot of that's probably because of the music. You know, the music in this one's very, very pretty and very gentle, unlike, There Will Be Blood, where it's just teeth are grinding the whole time, at least when the music is there. I'm bringing up There Will Be Blood a few times because it could be the best movie he did before this, but also it's very reminiscent in terms of themes. You've got obsession and possession. You've got Reynolds, who's just obsessed. He's a much different character from Daniel Plainview because he's not violent at all, of course, but he's just very obsessive and particular and meticulous and specific, as he should be. And then you've got Alma, who she's not possessive. She gets possessive, I suppose, but she just wants to possess him, and it gets, I don't know if I'll say exactly how she gets at the end, but she definitely just wants those moments where it's just them, other than where they're just always in a group of people and they don't really have time together by themselves. So she does something that makes it necessary for her to be around. There aren't too many issues that I had with the movie, but there's one. This is kind of a spoiler. Definitely a spoiler. So, we have all probably seen this clip.
I'm certain I was never meant to marry. I'm a confirmed bachelor. I'm incurable.
And then he does. They get married. He and Alma get married at not the end. It's not the end, but they end up getting married. And that's not the issue I had. It's just, okay, so in the scene where they're getting married, he gives the wedding vows, and then she gives her vows, and over her giving her vows, there's a little montage of the post-wedding moments, the reception and things like that, or them sitting and eating and her getting on his nerves because of the way she's buttering her toast and eating and chewing and all the noise and everything. And he feels like he made a terrible mistake. And I would have liked to have that montage over him talking. I think that would have been a very good. I would have liked to have that montage over him speaking, because that would have been a very good juxtaposition for what we heard earlier in the movie from him. So have her speak first. Well, either have her speak first, and then he speaks, or maybe you don't show that she spoke and then he speaks. I mean, either way, I think the montage would have worked better over his speech. It doesn't really matter. It's an incredibly well-crafted film anyway. Anyway, those are my thoughts. This isn't really a review. I don't really want to do reviews because there are a lot of reviews out there, a lot of review channels, a lot of really good ones. Chris Stuckman would be my favorite. Oh, I found my new Roger Ebert now. So that's really cool. But no, I just like to talk more about the technical aspects. So like, he knows how to use the camera. And all those close-up shots he did of the dresses being made, and we see the threads and the ribbons being sewn on really well. It's not just a close-up though, which is nice. It's not just, let's just frame this, let's just put it in there because that's what people need to see. No, he always takes the time to make sure it's photographed properly, which a lot of people don't do, I don't think, when it comes to that. They're just inserting a shot for the sake of inserting a shot. It's weird. They think about the composition and the lighting and everything else that goes into photography when it comes to the wide shots and the medium shots. But when it comes to close-ups, maybe they'll think about it if it's something really important. But if it's just, something like that where it's this sort of, it seems more like an insert. Even though it's important, it seems more like an insert. They don't think about it.
Cyril is right. Cyril is always right. It's not because the fabric is adored by the clients that Cyril is right. It's right because it's right. Because it's beautiful. Maybe one day you'll change your taste, Alma.
One thing I really like here is that Daniel Day-Lewis, he falls into the character and he becomes the character like always. He's a chameleon, but he kind of just uses his normal voice. It's not like There Will Be Blood and Gangs of New York, where he uses a different accent and he sounds completely different, or Lincoln, where he had to use a different voice, obviously, but that's probably the most impressive, when an actor can just fall into a role and he's, I wouldn't say unrecognizable, but he's not just, the guy you see in the interview, but he's basically using his normal voice. That's really impressive. It's a really good actor. If you don't really care for these kinds of movies, like I said, slow, methodical, little dialogue heavy, I wouldn't go see it in the theater. Don't spend your $12 or whatever it might be to go see it. Wait till it's on DVD, Blu-ray. And I really encourage everyone, you should see this movie. Should it get Best Picture? I haven't seen all of them. I've seen this one and Darkest Hour. No, Shape of Water. I've seen Shape of Water as well. Okay. I don't know I think for me it would be between this one and Darkest Hour, but I haven't seen all the rest yet. All right. Anyway, thank you for watching, and tell me what you think.